Silent.
What is up, gamers? The Red Dragon here, and I am joined by a special entourage. We've got Lost in Place.
Oh, that's the part where I say hello.
Yeah, this is live, guys. So if anybody fucks up, it's live. Got TX Coulter,
Hello, people.
Joker,
Hello.
Reggae,
Evening, gentlemen.
Gremlin,
What's up, guys?
and Too Fast for Seth.
Hello.
All right, guys. So what we are doing is we are covering the news, and we've got a great team here that's going to chime in, and we're going to talk about what's going on in the daily events. So we're going to start things off front page of Battle Strats right now. EA servers shutting down a lot of games, so you better watch it whenever you go to the game store to pick up pre-owned games because you're only getting half the game. Did you guys check out this list? What did you see on there that players might ought to watch out for?
I was most surprised that there's a lot of recent games there. Saboteur, that only came out like 2 years ago, right? That's like, well, it's early picking up. And FIFA games, I know people who like buy that shit every year.
People still play the old school ones.
Yeah. Yeah, so they're kind of forcing you to buy their new games, which is bad.
Yeah, I could understand, some of the sports games, but I would think like, 08, 09. FIFA 10, that doesn't seem like it's very old at all.
Exactly.
Not really.
And then Burnout and Godfather and Need for Speed are all big ones as well. But I tell you what, though, I'm glad that they put these lists out because Gremlin, I think, actually saved me one time. I was going to go buy Battlefield 2 for the consoles and was going to go pick it up, had it in my damn hand. And I called him up, and he said, you know what, they shut down the server, so there's no need in even picking it up.
Yeah, Modern Combat. That was the. I think that was the port for Battlefield 2. It was their attempt to get it on the console. It was fun while it lasted, but they got rid of that. So it's pretty depressing. It was a fun game.
Yeah, so some more EA news. EA looking into a subscription service for Battlefield 3. Can you scream Call of Duty Elite? What do you guys think of that?
This is just your typical developers just copying off one another because Elite, got that idea from Battlelog, and now Battlefield developers they're getting the idea of making a subscription from Elite. So that's what I think it is.
But is that a bad thing, though, if they're going to actually come out with content and not wait, 7 godforsaken months before they, give us some maps?
If it's
If
good,
it's-
then I don't mind waiting for it or paying for it if it's worth the money.
Exactly. If you put it like that, then it's, in my opinion, that wouldn't be so bad.
All right, Chief Zero in the chat, he says, no one likes Elite, mistake waiting to happen. So some feedback from the chat. Also, some Battlefield news, Close Quarters, that's a DLC coming out in June, and they were talking about new game modes, but it looks like they're going to leave off some game modes. Looks like there's not going to be a rush mode because the maps are so condensed, and instead they're going to have a conquest domination. Now, of course, a lot of games have domination mode. What do you guys think of that? Are you going to miss rush?
Yeah.
I'm going to be missing a whole lot of it because I don't really want to play close quarter stuff in the first place, really. I think it's
I don't
really
missing this. Nigga.
I think it's going to come down to seeing if a lot of my friends crack on buying the DLC because I'm waiting for something new, but I really don't want it to be close quarters.
Are you really not going to pick up a Battlefield DLC, though?
Oh, I want to, but I don't want it to be close quarters. Hopefully it'll
Yeah.
be something, whatever comes after that.
So how much do you actually play Battlefield, though?
I've been starting to distance myself a little bit more, but I mean, if somebody would say you want to hop on, I'd probably go ahead and hop on.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and give my opinion because I play Battlefield 3 every weekend pretty much. I'm a huge Battlefield fan. In my opinion, and I just asked the chat if who's getting Close Quarters, I don't think I'll be getting it right off the bat. I think I'm going to wait because what I'm really looking forward to is Armored Kill because that Close Quarter stuff really isn't my style. If I want that, I'll go to Call of Duty. I'm really up for the big team games, large maps, a lot of vehicles. That's my style.
But what about
Gremlin
like
nailed it.
all the
Battlefield's
weapons and
not
stuff?
about any of that. It's all about the big maps and the vehicles. So Gremlin nailed it.
All right, and Microsoft, they are recruiting for, is this a quadruple console title? You know, they have AAA, but I guess
Quadruple A.
I guess this is a way to hype it. Add another letter of the alphabet.
I'm not sure what the difference between a double A and a triple A is, really.
Maybe it's like a battery or something. Maybe you can, you know, fit more into it.
It just seems like they're just trying to hype up more because it doesn't seem like a lot. They're doing a lot anymore. It's just like they're pushing out games, and it just doesn't seem like they're giving the same quality they used to anymore. I think they're just in it for the money now.
I think they just went and focused a lot on Kinect here at the end.
Yeah.
And I mean, if they're getting ready to bring out a brand new console, I mean, if that's their future, that's what they're looking at, is the Kinect, and you know the next Xbox is going to have a souped-up Kinect version, then I'm saying the developers are probably looking at what all they can do now, so this is just their test period. And Xbox, they know that a new one's right around the corner, so why invest a lot of, you know, time and effort into really big titles here at the end?
Well, you know, they know that they have their core base, and they know who's going to buy their consoles and who isn't at this point. And you know, while they can try and get some new people to join in, and you know, start getting into Xbox too, I think, yeah, if you ask me, they'd just be waiting to release games for the new Xbox instead of releasing it at the end.
And speaking of Kinect, have you guys seen the new Kinect Star Wars trailer? What did you guys think of that?
Star Wars for everybody.
I think it's kind of cool, but it doesn't feel like the Star Wars. Doesn't have
Well, the
the same
Kinect
feel.
doesn't exactly have the best titles for it. This may actually be the best title, even though it doesn't look that great.
Kills me is you see the people playing the game and they're all, you know, all smiling and laughing, and nobody does that, because I'm mad every time I'm having to play Kinect, because it's like I just want to sit on my ass and play.
Yeah.
I think it looks kind of corny, to be honest. Just on the like, I think it's cool, like maybe the pod racing feature that they have, but the dancing, like, is this Dance Central? Like, what is up with that?
Defeat the Force with your booty moves.
Break dance with Vader.
All right, and then also Mass Effect 3. Now, this is a story that is all over the place. So, how many of you have played Mass Effect 3?
I have.
I don't know. I have.
Let's go down the list. Lost,
Mass Effect 3, no.
Coulter,
1 and 2, not 3.
Joker,
Yep, all three.
Reggae.
Love 1 and 2, watch the ending for free, felt sick.
So, did you play 3 or did you just watch a video
No,
of it?
I didn't play it, I watched the ending. Because I just heard so much about how bad the ending was, I had to see it for myself, and I don't know, man. Disappointed.
Gremlin.
I'm gonna be honest, I have not played any of the games even once.
Seth.
Played 1 and 2. I'm working on 3 right now, so don't spoil it, please. I know I heard it's bad, but just don't spoil it. I
Yeah,
just
we
wanna-
won't do any spoilers here, but do you like 3 so far, just the gameplay?
Yeah, well, I don't know. It kind of feels like 2, like, for example, 2, like, you could do a lot more stuff outside of, like, the battle. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can go on different planets and you can, like, do all this other stuff. In 3, they kind of cut that down a bit. Like, they still have, you know, interaction with, like, random-ass characters and, like, you know, the planets and stuff, but, like, not as much as 2. But I like the game regardless of that. Like,
Gameplay's always been pretty solid with Mass
Yeah,
Effect, but
exactly.
it's done for the narrative, and from what I hear, they just let that go.
So
Mass
this will
Effect
actually be good here in a little bit. First, I mean, whenever Mass Effect 3 first released, the Metacritic scores got totally raped by a bunch of users who got pissed off because of the DLC, you know, problem that was going on.
Yeah.
They want
God.
DLC.
Did y'all have a big problem with that? How they announced, like, DLC and it was like
Day
the
one.
day of release or something?
That's a major, like, that just pisses me off. Day
Nice.
1 DLC.
I think it's the complete opposite of what EA intends to do with their DLC. Like, they don't have enough, and they seem like these guys are just hitting you right from the start with it.
Well, didn't Bad Company 2 have DLC, like, almost day one? Or maybe I'm thinking
Yeah,
they
if
announced
you-
it or something.
I think
thinking
they
you're right.
might have
The
announced
limited
it, but
edition.
because if you remember, they released all that stuff like over time, but all we were getting for like what, a year was just recycled maps with new game modes on it.
Right. So they got hit with that, and now they're getting hit with this ending. Now I haven't played the game, so I don't know anything about the ending. And like I said, we won't spoil it for anybody, but a lot of people are pissed off about this ending. And so my question is, if you get involved in a series like this, see, this is why I don't watch a lot of TV shows. Like, I started watching Heroes, and I kind of got into it, and then I heard like by the last season, it just kind of just dropped off and it fell apart, and I didn't even care to watch the rest of the season. So, as far as games go, if you invest, 3 seasons or whatever into Mass Effect or any other story, and you get to the end of it, and the ending of the game just totally sucks, does that ruin the game for you, or
It's a ball buster.
how much
it won't
is
ruin-
the
it won't
story
ruin
important to you
previous
when you're playing
installments.
these series? I guess is
It
the
depends
question.
again because Mass Effect 3 is story driven. It's not really gameplay driven. I mean, they've had changes here or there. It has become more third person shooter. It's become a bit more Gears like and less RPG. But it's story driven. So for me, at least, that screwed it all over when they kind of let story go. From what I've seen.
Yeah, I was interested after the second one. I was really excited for the third one, but I never pre-ordered it, and I'm glad I never did, because now it seems, from what I've heard, it makes it feel like the ending makes it feel like it doesn't even matter that you were there for the whole journey, even though they said that everything's going to add up, everything that you've done through all 3 games are going to make a
The
difference.
ending, it took what was special and unique about Mass Effect and then just stomped all over it. That's in a nutshell what it is without spoiling too much.
Well, did anybody play Halo 2? I mean,
Yeah.
because the
Only
biggest
Halo
thing I
played.
remember about that release was just how incredibly pissed off people got at the cliffhanger ending for that game. And I was a little bit disappointed too, because I had played that game, but if you ask me, they really made up for it with Halo 3.
Yeah, I agree
But this
with
is
that.
supposed to be it.
Yeah, like they're not making another one, but I guess I'll throw my 2 cents into that. I don't know. I think like the whole time you're playing 1 and you're playing Mass Effect 2, and it's like they're trying to amp you up for the third one, which is supposed to be the big climate, the big ending.
Right.
But as I'm hearing from everybody, since I haven't finished it yet, they kind of screwed it over, and just like the ending was complete trash. Like you're so amped up for it, and then it just brings you down when you actually see it, and it's like not what you expected or close to what you expected.
And then there might be the true ending DLC coming out in April.
If you're gonna make DLC for your true ending, you know your original ending sucked.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was what I was going to mention. We got a story on the front page where BioWare, one of the devs, is admitting to fans, basically on Twitter, that there needs to be something else for fans as far as the story goes. So how surely don't you think that this DLC, if they come out with it and they change the story or add a new one, don't you think that's going to have to be free? I mean, isn't it just completely wrong to charge somebody to download a really good ending to your story?
I think that would be an absolute just stab in the back if they made them pay for that. I mean, and again, I can't speak for anyone because I haven't played the game, but
It's basically like everyone said. If the ending's trash, I haven't got to it. I'm maybe 3 to 4 hours in. But if the developer openly admits, well, this sucks, they should be like, well, we're sorry. Here's a better ending, and give you that for free.
I could see them charging for it. That's a sad thing. I hope
Yeah.
they don't, but
It's EA.
yeah.
I don't play a lot of Mass Effect games. You guys who played Mass Effect games, were any of the DLC packs before free on the previous games?
No.
Not that I recall.
They
There
weren't
were a few
expensive.
a few that became free over a while, extra missions, but there were only little peripheral ones. Actual DLCs, you had to pay for that.
Yeah. If you want the good stuff, you have to pay out money. They'll give you little pieces of, I guess, stuff to continue on, so you won't.
There were a
stop
few
playing.
extra missions that came free after a while for Mass Effect 2.
Yeah.
Other than that, but the actual
Like the addition of the
proper DLC.
Batarian stuff.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, pretty much. There was a small little mission where you got to fly around in this little ship. I remember that. That was a free DLC, Firewalker expansion. But then there were about 5 other DLCs which you had to pay for, I think. I'm pretty sure.
And then I guess the final thing we got is, I guess the best trailer that I saw that we've got showing on the front page right now has to be the Ghost Recon trailer. Did you guys see that?
Yes. I like how they had the future soldier guy or the future weapons guy on there. That was good.
Yeah, it kind of looked a little bit like Homefront. You know, they're really focusing on the UAVs and the future of warfare. Which, do y'all ever watch those military shows that they got on Discovery and all that, where they're showing future warfare? This stuff ain't that far away, and it's kind of scary. And
that's what I'm saying. That's the same guy. That's the same host, isn't it?
what are you talking about?
The guy that's in the trailer for the Ghost Recon. I thought that was the same guy from Future Weapons.
Yeah, yeah, it is. I think.
Yeah, he's a badass.
Looks like him.
Yeah. I just hope that you're not spending too much time with one person in UAV and saying, all right, this is where they are. But I'm sure it looks interesting. So.
I was a Ghost Recon fan like before, like on the original Xbox when it was first-person shooter, and then they switched over to this third-person, and I never could get into it the same. But I'm definitely going to pick this one up because it looked pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I usually don't like a lot of games where you're doing futuristic stuff, like going camouflaged and stuff with a, you know, a little button or brainwave. I don't know.
I think it looks cool.
All right, guys. Well, that's gonna wrap it up for today's video. I think you're up to date with the latest gaming news. I want to thank Lost in Place, TX Coulter, Joker, Reggae, Alpine Gremlin, and Too Fast for Seth. Be sure to check out the links in the description box. You're gonna find all their Twitters, YouTubes, all that stuff there, so you can stalk them. They got good content, every single one of them, and glad they came on. And look forward to the next episode of the Roundtable. That's all I got right now for a name. If anybody else has a name or a title they think that would be good to fit this, but we'll try to do this, you know, daily maybe if you guys like it and we got enough news to cover. Just gathering some gamers together, talk about some latest happenings in the gaming world. Well, that does it for me, the Red Dragon. I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.
See ya.
See you guys.